Pour them into your hand. 6 colors, one identical shape, a thin candy shell protecting rich chocolate. Hundreds of millions are produced every single day. But here's what makes M&M's engineering not just candy. That thin shell must be strong enough to protect chocolate from melting in your hand, yet thin enough to crack instantly when you bite. And it has to be perfect, every single time. The engineering question. That candy coating isn't decoration, it's precision engineering. Too thin and body heat melts through, ruining the entire point of the product. Too thick and the texture changes from satisfying crunch to jawbreaker hardness. Too little polish and the shine disappears. Too much and handling becomes sticky. At industrial scale, coating thickness becomes critical. 1 micron too thick gets multiplied 400 million times per day at a single factory. This is confectionery engineering where tolerances are measured in thousandths of an inch. Industrial tension. The 1950s Midwest Research Institute perfected a process coating 3,300 pounds of chocolate centers every hour. That's 1.5 metric tons. Per hour. Today's factories produce 2.6 million M&Ms per hour, transported to printing machines, then packaging, then distribution. 100 million individual M&Ms can be manufactured per day at a single facility. That's 36.5 billion per year. 12 M&Ms for every human on Earth, from one factory, and every single one must be identical. Inside the system. Today we step inside the candy coating machine, where chocolate meets chemistry and precision meets scale. Chocolate core production. Every M&M begins as chocolate. Raw cacao beans arrive from South America, West Africa, or Southeast Asia. They're fermented, dried, and shipped. Roasting develops flavor through Maillard reactions. Temperature control is critical. Roasted beans are cracked and winnowed. Nibs are ground into cocoa liquor, a thick paste that's chocolate's foundation. Sugar and milk powder are blended in precise ratios. The mixture is refined until particle size becomes microscopic, under 20 microns. Larger particles create graininess. Conching, where rotating arms mix and aerate heated chocolate for hours, smooths texture and removes acidity. Mars facilities run 11 vats producing 3 chocolate types: milk chocolate for regular M&Ms, chocolate for peanut coating, and semi-sweet for baking. Finally, tempering stabilizes cocoa butter crystals. Without tempering, chocolate blooms and softens, forming the chocolate lentils. Liquid chocolate flows into tiny round molds to create centers. For peanut M&Ms, whole roasted peanuts are enrobed first. For peanut butter M&Ms, peanut butter centers are formed, then chocolate coated. The shaped chocolate cools and hardens on conveyors. Then pellets are tumbled, rotated in drums to smooth and round them. Any imperfections get worn away. This creates the uniform lentil shape that stacks efficiently and coats evenly. Primer layer application. Before color, each center receives a thin sugar primer layer. This barrier seals the chocolate core, preventing cocoa butter from bleeding through and causing discoloration. It's invisible, but essential for long-term stability. Without it, cocoa butter would migrate outward, creating bloom and compromising shell integrity. Multi-layer candy coating, the panning process. This is where the magic happens. Inside massive rotating panning drums, liquid sugar syrup is sprayed gradually onto the tumbling chocolate centers. Panning is an ancient candy-making technique perfected for industrial scale. The drums rotate continuously while syrup is applied in precise timed intervals. The coating is made of sugar and corn syrup in exact proportions. Too much corn syrup and the shell becomes sticky. Too little and it cracks. Airflow systems remove moisture between applications. Each layer must dry completely before the next is applied. Layer by microscopic layer, the shell builds. Some varieties receive up to 14 separate coats, each one dried before the next. Timing is everything. Spray too fast and the coating clumps unevenly. Spray too slow and production slows to a crawl. This is texture engineering through repetition. Each layer adds thickness, strength, and smoothness. Coloring and polishing. Once the final sugar coat sets, color dyes are blended into specific syrup batches. Each batch is a different color: red, yellow, blue, green, orange, brown. The single-colored batches are kept separate until final mixing. Mars produces 17 different colors for specialty products, seasonal varieties, and the customizable My M&M's line. But standard bags contain 6: red, yellow, blue, green, orange, brown. Historical note: red M&Ms were discontinued from 1976 to 1987 due to health concerns. Orange replaced red during that period. When red returned, orange stayed, giving us 6 colors instead of 5. Blue wasn't introduced until 1995, voted in by consumers over purple and pink. After color application, a carnauba wax polish is applied. This natural wax, derived from Brazilian palm leaves, creates the glossy finish recognized worldwide. Mechanical buffing and rotating drums spreads the wax evenly and creates that signature shine. Without wax, M&Ms would look dull and matte. The gloss is engineered, not accidental. Printing the iconic M. Freshly polished candies travel by conveyor to the printing station. Here's the engineering challenge. Print a white M on a curved, polished, rotating candy without cracking the thin shell. The solution? A proprietary positioning system that places candies in recessed compartments on a revolving drum. Each candy rests in its own indentation, held stable during printing. A soft printing roller presses edible white ink, made from food-grade pigments and binders, onto each surface. Pressure must be calibrated precisely. Too much, and the shell cracks. Too little, and the print doesn't adhere. This is offset printing adapted for 3-dimensional food products moving at high speed. Approximately 2.6 million M&Ms are transported to the etching machine per hour. The black M was first printed in 1950, offering an additional layer of branding. It was changed to white in 1954, the version we know today. Packaging and scale. Before packaging, computer-controlled scales mix precise color ratios. Standard bags contain a specific distribution, slightly more brown and yellow, fewer blue and orange. This isn't random. It's engineered to create visual consistency. Consistency in appearance reinforces brand identity. Every bag must look familiar to the consumer. Automated systems weigh batches of each color, then combine them according to programmed ratios. The tagline that built an empire. In 1949, Mars introduced the milk chocolate that melts in your mouth, not in your hand. This wasn't marketing hype, it was the entire engineering premise. The candy shell solved a problem, allowing chocolate year-round sales, even before air conditioning. Forrest Mars Sr. got the idea during the Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, observing soldiers who kept chocolate from melting with sugary coatings. The name M&M represents Forrest E. Mars Sr. and Bruce Murray, son of Hershey's president. Mars owned 80%, Murray 20%. The arrangement gave Mars access to Hershey's chocolate during World War II rationing, a strategic partnership that launched an empire. From cocoa beans roasted in processing facilities to molten chocolate formed in lentil molds, from 14-layer sugar coatings to polished carnauba wax shells, M&Ms represent confectionery engineering at industrial scale. A primer layer you can't see, a shell built 1 micron at a time, tiny candies, massive precision, 400 million per day, 12 for every person on Earth, all identical. And everyone melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Subscribe for more deep dives into the engineering behind the world's most iconic products. Thanks for watching.